Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. You may be wondering, what are we doing? Well,
not sawmilling.
No, not sawmilling today. I've been doing a bunch of that. You're probably getting tired of watching me mill lumber, but don't worry, there'll be more of that to come. Today we are getting rid of, not getting rid, we're going to reuse parts of it, of this old chicken coop. I built this thing out of scrap lumber for Lisa 7 years ago, maybe even 8. It's pushing it, but the bottom's rotting out of it. We've been kind of tacking wood onto it as we needed it just to keep it going, but we haven't used it now in, I don't know, a year. And our big goal this past winter, we had too many of them really, but one of them was to build a larger chicken house. We're still going to do that. But for now, we're going to do an addition onto where the hens are right now, and rooster. And we're going to raise our meat birds in there, y'all. We're going to farm like it's 1980 something. Right?
Yes.
Because in the 80s, that's what we were doing. Yeah. Raising chickens in chicken houses. Different kind of chicken house though. And we'll kind of get into that as we're going. And this addition will be kind of like a miniature scale of the way I remember chickens being raised when I was a kid. The way we did it. So we're going to get into it. Get this old one moved out of the way. We'll reuse some of the wire that's on it. We're not going to get rid of the little nesting box hut thing, because we may have a need for that later on, y'all. So don't just tear stuff up, you know, selectively take it apart. So we're going to get started moving this, and then we're going to show you the new addition. The goal is to get it done today. Probably not going to happen though. Probably be 2 days, maybe 3. You just don't ever know around here, y'all.
He agrees.
Rooster says, yeah, probably going to be longer than that, because I see how you work, man. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you stopping in. Hit that old like and subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. Let's get to moving some stuff out and putting some new in.
And making the chickens mad with the tractor. So.
They'll be mad all day.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that that is going to make for some good vegetables?
Yes.
Y'all, that's what you call organic gardening at its finest. As far as the medium that we're growing in, you're talking 7 years of broke down chicken poo. That'll raise some good green beans, y'all.
And it already has a whole bunch of earthworms in it.
Yeah, it's full of them. So that, I mean, you can't even tell that there were shavings in there at any point. It's just dirt or soil to those of you that are more educated than I am. All right, let's go over here and take a look at what we're doing. So y'all, what we're doing is coming off of the corner post from this part of the run down 25 feet. Not all the way to the end of where they lay their eggs, but it'll be 25 feet long, 5 feet wide, and we're going to do a 4 foot high wall on the outside. And we've got plenty of that tin that my father-in-law gave us that we have got plenty to use at the off-grid cabin as well as right here. So we're going to cover this entire thing. We'll throw some 2x4s up here, some nailers, and we'll have a basically 5.5 foot, 6 foot lean-to roof that'll be easy to keep clean with a broom. It'll run off easy, and y'all, you don't have to have it 6 foot high on both sides. As long as we can get in here to collect chickens, you know, I can send Lisa in here to squat down and get the other ones when it comes time to process. But this is going to work out really good, y'all. So we're going to get the excavator in here because I really don't feel like digging these post holes completely by hand, and you'll see why I'm bringing the excavator in here in a few minutes when we explain how we're going to do our predator barrier.
And also because you really look for any excuse to get on the excavator.
Well, we've got it. Might as well burn that diesel, right?
About 6 inches from this track.
Go with the boom.
Yeah.
Right on?
Yeah.
See, y'all, the whole reason that we dug this trench, it looks like a footing, is because now we can set we've got some 4x4 white oak posts, and we're going to set those hopefully as square as we can get to the existing structure, which is not square at all because I did it by eye. But that's no big deal. We'll be able to square this at least 25-foot run up off of it to the best of our ability. And the main purpose for the trench, y'all, is we're going to take boards, 6-inch boards, and we're going to attach those to the outside of the 4x4s to be our predator apron. Instead of burying wire over here, because chicken wire tends to rot after just a few years exposed to the ground. Maybe a little bit longer, but I'd rather just go ahead and put some boards in there, put some homemade stain on them, and they'll last for a long time, especially without being exposed to as much oxygen or as much water, because remember, this thing's going to have a shed roof on it, and we're going to berm it up on the outside so the water will hardly ever be touching it as far as standing water goes. So let's get some post holes dug. Lisa, you're doing that, right?
Sure.
Nah, I'll dig them. But I'm already halfway there, y'all, thanks to this trench. At least it's only 4 that we got to dig. Well, I mean me.
I can.
This, I don't dig post holes by hand much anymore, y'all. If I have many, I go borrow my dad's auger. But I've only got to dig these really, and honestly, about a foot. I'm only going to dig them about a foot deep because I'm already a foot deep here. We'll pack it good, and it's going to be attached with 2x4s to that section, so ain't no big deal. It's going to tighten up good when we put all these boards on it. So we'll get all these done, and then we'll show you setting a few posts. Alright, y'all, the 4x4s are in the ground. I actually dug those holes about 18 inches deep, even though I'd already had a foot deep trench. And we came up with another idea. Instead of using so much lumber on the bottom predator apron, we've got some 10-foot metal studs. They've just been laying around the building, and so we're going to use them. We're going to put them in the ground. We'll still use some wood above that so we can attach our chicken wire, but we'll put this metal down in the ground. I don't know what, if it's not stainless, or maybe it is. It's been out in the elements for umpteen years, hadn't rusted or anything, so it could be stainless. I don't know. But we're going to use it, put it down there. It's going to make a good buffer. No raccoons or possums are going to be able to dig up underneath this thing to get in the chicken hut. So we'll get on out here in a second after a breather, y'all. Need a breather. I'm getting old. Am I getting old?
You're not old.
I'm not old. And the woman's always right, so I am not old. This is me taking a break, y'all. And Lisa taking a shovel and digging on down a little bit where some loose dirt needs to come out.
And some that you just kicked in there showing me.
Yeah, I kicked a little in there. She wanted to know what to take out, and I kicked. I said that. He'll help you. And the other side, and we'll be good to go. And this is me being particular, as old Hank would say, right? Just hanking around.
Is that enough out of that, or do you want more?
A little bit more. About an inch. Pull hard. There you go. Just work it until it gets hot and snaps. Y'all, this is the metal that we're using. This will be our predator guard. And we will actually probably put another layer on the bottom here. What we're trying to do is keep this to prevent our pine boards we're going to put above it as a nailer for the wire from being under the ground. That's the whole plan. And the ditch gets deeper as you go because the elevation is going uphill. So this is actually going to go underground and get bermed back here where we're at. So this gives you an idea of what we're doing. We'll come below these that you see here with another run of those below it, and that'll be a good predator apron. There's holes in this metal, but honestly we can cover those up with some other little pieces of sheet metal that we have, run a couple self-tapping screws. That'll close that off, and we'll backfill y'all up just to the top of them, so it'll be sloped away. Y'all, we're gonna call this part 1. We can't get this. We could do it in a day, but
I don't really think so. This has been more
labor intensive.
Well, it's been more in depth than what we did like with this one.
Yeah, what's taking so long is getting this predator barrier up, because we want to make sure that these high dollar meat birds that we put in here, these rangers, are nice and protected while they're growing out. So we'll pick back up on the next video, y'all, with part 2. And hopefully that's the end of it. I don't plan on there being a part 3, so.
Oh no.
I don't plan on there being a part 3. There's gonna be a part 2, and that's gonna be it. But this is how we're gonna raise them this year, y'all. We're gonna raise our meat birds in this new covered and protected coop that we can clean out by hand. We just don't have enough grass, y'all, to drag them around like we've done in the past. We actually grew them this way last fall in our 2 standalone coops, and it worked great. I think we put weight on them quicker than we did on grass.
Yeah, we did.
So we're going to do it that way. We're going to do it the 1980s way. I figure sooner or later everything comes back around.
Yeah.
And the 80s were pretty doggone good, if I remember correctly, for the most part. So let's bring some 1980s back.
The 80s were good.
Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. We'll see you on the next one, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high.